I am coming on earlier this week. Hello everybody, it is Thursday, and I'm here on Thursday instead of Saturday because I just feel led to talk right now as opposed to waiting until Saturday. I'll give people a couple of more minutes and I'll get started. Hopefully you all have been having a great week. We're a little bit past hump day. Hopefully you've had some discoveries. You've noticed some things about yourself. And you're learning some lessons. Today I am going to be chatting about the end of cycles, an end of a cycle, and what does that represent, and what should we do? First of all, we'll start off as we do typically with the numerology digit of the day, which is the digit 9. And as you may have heard in the past from me on a couple of different occasions, 9 represents divine completeness. It represents general finality, a spiraling up. And when I say spiraling up, I mean that as we ascend, as we move into higher dimensions, into higher levels of awareness, 9 represents the spiral going up and moving up into the infinite gateway to infinite intelligence, back to heaven, as it were. So 9 is a spiral up, which is a 6 upside down. So 6 is actually, it represents coming down from heaven and into the earth realm and learning the lessons here that we all need to learn in order to move back into other dimensions and the next level. 9 also represents alchemy, humanitarian thoughts and considerations. It has to do with intuition. Number 9 also is associated with having had difficulty with parents, or not having a very close relationship, or having a challenging relationship with parents. So many people with Life Path 9 have actually had some very challenging situations with their original family configuration, whether it's the mother or the father, but there has been a sense of a lack of love or abandonment with that primary caretaker. Many Life Path 9s have had that experience. 9 has to do, as I said earlier, with the end of a cycle and the opportunity to reflect on what you have learned and process that, and then begin to integrate what you've learned into the future as you move forward. And so I'm going to chat a little bit about my own experience with this end of cycle that I'm going through right now. And as always, as I've said before, I am always here not pontificating, not telling you what you should do, not being a guru or anything like that, but just sharing with you my heart, what I'm experiencing, with the hopes that maybe you will find something you resonate, and it will redirect you to look on the inside and to be able to derive your own lessons. So that is all I'm doing, and I'm being obedient to spirit when I do this, and it's very fulfilling for me to be on here. So it's a wonderful thing for me. So basically, there are about 4 things I want to talk about. The first one has to do with, and these are 4 lessons that I have learned over the course of the past, I'd say, several months. And these are the big chunks of information, of wisdom that I am currently processing and integrating into my life. The first one is, and all of these you probably have heard me talk about before, but I'm sharing with you things that are sticking with me that I am still processing, still integrating, and still trying to master. The first lesson for me is just appreciating the now and really reminding myself that there's nothing more important than this moment right here, and that this is actually the launching pad for my next step, for my future, and that nothing else is more important than the now. I know that I've said that many times before, but it bears repeating, and that is my first lesson, and one that I'm integrating with everything that I do. Okay? The second one has to do with understanding that your external reality is nothing more than a printout of your inner world that is made up of your thoughts and your emotions about those thoughts. So whether there be conflicts, incongruencies between your heart and mind, whatever is happening on the inside of you, whatever you mull over, whatever you have been thinking about, all of those things on the inside of you are propagated and projected out into your world. So whatever you are experiencing, whatever I am experiencing, whatever I'm seeing, whatever types of patterns that I'm noticing in my life, whether it be with places, whether it be with different types of situations or people, these are energies that are being reflected back to me to help me learn something about myself, to help me understand what's happening inside me. And when you get to the point where you're noticing it more, you will realize that God is just really shining back to you what you're shining out. So it's really quantum physics. It's whatever you push out, it's coming back. So the thoughts and emotions about those thoughts that you're having, you are projecting those out into the external reality, and then it plays on the projector screen that is your life. And you are looking at a movie that is playing out all the things that are happening inside you. And if you pay attention and realize that that's what's happening, you will now have a different approach to your life. You will realize that it is just a gift showing you things that are going on inside you. So again, this second lesson is really accepting and understanding that your life, what you see is a reflection of the things that are going on inside you. So your external world is a projection of your inner world. And so I'm realizing that in my life as I interact with people that bring different energies to the situation. When I'm in places that bring certain energies to my attention, I am now very quickly reminding myself that there is something here. There is something here for me to learn. There is an energy here. There's an interaction of energy here that is reflective of something going on in my inner world that I need to pay attention to, because it's an opportunity for learning. Okay, it's an opportunity for learning for me. And this is the second thing that I am processing, the second idea and piece of information and wisdom that I'm processing and I am integrating into my life as a way to continually develop and move forward. As I look out in the world and I have these experiences and I meet different people and I have different types of discussions, and these different energies that are presenting themselves to me are only reflecting the things that are at play inside me, that are in my heart, that are in my mind, that are being projected out on the projector screen, the movie screen of my life, to show me in as much detail as I would like what it is that I am. It's showing me who I am. It's showing me the energies that are at play. It's showing me the things that are in harmony. It's showing me the things that are in conflict, the things that are incongruent. And as I begin to make those adjustments on the inside, I will see confirmation in my external world that those adjustments have been successful or not. And so to me, this is such a life hack when you realize that what you're interacting with is just yourself. It's just a reflection of you. The whole thing is you. Big, huge quantum shift for me when I came to that realization, and I began to live my life on a daily basis with that wisdom in mind. Okay? The third thing is that your life is a discourse, a dialogue between you and the universe. You get to a point where you realize that you are in a co-creative mode with the universe, that the things that you're intending, the things that you're wishing for, the things that you authentically know represent your role and your meaning and your purpose in life, as you begin to make plans and see those things come to fruition, you will begin to notice that synchronicities will happen. And they happen more and more as you become more and more conscious, more awake, and more aware of that back and forth that goes back, that conversation, that dialogue that's happening between you and the universe. For example, let's say that there's something that you were thinking about, and you were really, maybe you meditated on it previously, and the universe or God showed you something that reflects that you're on the right track, or that thing that you want to happen is actually happening. Well, instead of you marveling and being in disbelief and calling your friend saying, "Can you believe that this happened? That doesn't make sense." Instead of you doing that, how about we shift out of that mode and shift into the co-creative mode of giving a nod to God, giving a nod to the universe, saying, "I see what you did there. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted." And then what's going to happen is the universe is going to tell you, "Good, let's do another one. Let's do it again." And so you get to a point where you're in that dialogue, that dialectic with you and the universe. And as you do that more and more, the synchronicities are going to begin to add up and pile up. And that builds your confidence. It builds your belief in the understanding that you are, in fact, a co-creator with the universe. You are a co-creator with God to bring forth, to manifest and to bring to fruition those things that you were meant to do and that only you were meant to do. And so get into the mindset and that quantum shift where you realize that you are in cahoots. You are in a positively conspiratorial relationship with the universe and with God, and that things that you are hoping for, things that you are intending that are wonderful and beautiful and are going to contribute to the human collective, to the world at large, things that only you uniquely can contribute because of your divine blueprint and because of your unique calling, you are going to have a quantum shift, a tectonic shift when it comes to an understanding that you and God, you and spirit, you and the universe are in this together. And the more you become aware and accept that this is actually happening, the more it actually happens. So that's my third piece of wisdom that I'm learning, that I'm processing, that I'm integrating into how I live my life. And then you're going to get to the point, and this is number 4, where you are no longer groping for confirmation that you are on the right track or the role that you are performing in life is appropriate. You will now have the confidence in the belief that you are in fact here for a reason, a unique reason, and that you have a unique role in contribution to everybody, to the human collective, to the world at large. And it just builds your confidence, and it certainly reminds you that you are special and that you are important. And so those are the 4 things that I really wanted to share, because these are the 4 things that are at play in my life. These are the big 4 lessons that I'm processing and that I'm reflecting on. And when I say I'm processing and integrating, I am making them me. They are becoming part of me. I am accepting them and allowing them to be added to my aura, my cosmic signature. It is going to become something that is an unconscious competence as I will move through life integrating and using these lessons in a way that is skillful and competent, but I won't have to think about it because I will have spent enough time on a daily basis processing them and integrating them and letting them become who I am. Does that make sense? So those are the four big things happening with me. And I am hoping that you got something out of this. I didn't go into the type of detail that I could, but I did touch on everything. And what I would really like at this point, if there's anybody who's listening who is getting something out of this, or if this is resonating with anyone, I would love to see your comments, or love for you to come on with me to chat if you'd like. I think the first thing that I talked about that has to do with the number 9, which is the numerology digit of the day, I think it segued very well into what I wanted to share. And I did state that number 9 is a number of divine completeness, and I talked a little bit about how people with life path 9 are very, very diverse and very complex, as 9 is a culmination of all of the numbers. And so often those with life path 9 are so inundated with life lessons that they don't necessarily get to the point where they understand how to integrate them because it's so much coming at them. And sometimes they're viewed, a lot of their actions are misconstrued by others who are not as challenged in their lives with lessons that 9s are. And 9s, as I said earlier, often come from families where they've had a dysfunctional relationship with at least one of the parents, where there was a lack of love or abandonment that was experienced by the number 9 person. So again, those 4 lessons, those are my lessons, and I'm sharing them with you, and I hope it was something that you were able to resonate with, and hopefully it will encourage you and inspire you to look within and maybe understand the lessons that uniquely are yours, that may be different from mine. But you know, it's an end of cycle right now. Today's number is 9, and 9 represents ends of cycles. And so it's only appropriate that at the end of a cycle, we reflect on what we've learned and we figure out ways to apply and process and integrate those lessons as we move forward and continue to ascend. So that's all I have for you today, and I won't be coming on Saturday because I got ahead of schedule and I had some time, and this was on my heart, and I felt like, you know what, why wait till Saturday if I'm feeling it right now and I can share it right now? And so that's what I've done. Boyd, good to see you. I'm glad you joined me. I would love for you to come on if you'd like. You're always here. So feel free to jump on if you'd like and ask some questions, or we can have a chat. Are you down with that? You want to come on? Let me see. No, you're not coming on. Okay. Well, feel free to DM me or comment on this if you ever want to chat. Oh, there you go. Are you there?
Hello.
There he is. Hello, hello.
How are
So
you?
glad to see you. I'm really, really good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I missed the first part of your live, so I missed what you said about life path number 9.
It just, you know what? It's so coincidental because it certainly was not my plan
to talk about Life Path 9. I don't really reflect on the number of the day until I have already come up with the topic. So I don't know what the Life Path number is going to be, until I'm like looking at the date and like, okay, today's a 9 day. Oh, I guess I'll talk about 9. It's like, oh, there's somebody who's a Life Path 9. I don't know if he's going to be around, but he's going to see the opportunity to learn more about Life Path 9. So I will gladly go over that again and then take any questions you may have about Life Path 9. And knowing you, you seem like the type of person who's probably looked it up and know a little bit about it. But what I talked about was the fact that Life Path 9s are typically humanitarian, very generous. I didn't say this, but they are very natural leaders. They typically assume they are the leader no matter what's going on. Life Path 9s are also people that have had, typically, maybe if it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine, that's great. But typically, almost all of them that I've ever met had some challenges with a parent where they have had, I don't know which parent it would be, or if it's both. It's typically one where there has been an abandonment issue or an issue where on your part, there was a lack of love, a lack of time, but usually there is one piece of dysfunction with a parent that Life Path 9 perceives is big enough that it actually affects them throughout life. And it's something that they don't forget, they hold on to it. And as you would imagine, it affects their relationships. It affects how they interact in relationships with the gender of whatever that parent is, the relationships you have with that particular gender, if at all, right, are going to be tinged with the trauma of that relationship with that parent. And so I've definitely had discussions with Life Path 9s for whom that is certainly the case. And oftentimes they get to a point in their lives where they are actually able to reconcile those challenges. They're able to gain some perspective and are able to, if not completely resolve the issue, at least have a perspective based on distance and based on being able to zoom out and see the bigger picture. And they begin to understand, oh, now I understand why they were that way. Because when they were a child, they went through this, and it's not anything they could have helped. And so that happened to me. And well, I'm going to stop that with me, and I'm not going to propagate whatever they did to me. That kind of happens. So I don't know what your case was or what you got out of that. I also talked about the fruits of the Spirit, that a 9 represents the 9 fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. And 9 also represents a spiraling up, where we're ascending up back into heaven, back into spirit, back into God. We assimilate, for lack of a better word, back into the Godhead, back into spirit and the quantum. So 9 represents that spiraling out of these lessons, these earthly lessons, back into the divine, where when we get back, we then remember that we've been a part of everything, that we've been a part of God the whole time. Mm-hmm. Our memory, there's a certain kind of forced amnesia in this earthly plane, so that it allows us to learn these lessons that transcend this life. But when we come here, we have agreed that we would have our memory erased so that we could, engage in this game, engage in this lesson. And when we spiral back up into the infinite, into the divine, it comes back to us, and we're able to integrate these lessons into our next lifetimes. So that is what I covered for the most part.
Okay.
For Life Path 9. Is there anything I'm missing? Are there any insights that you want to add, or any questions you have, or anything you want to chat about?
I think what resonated with me was you said with Life Path 9, feeling like a lot is coming at you right now. And that's been true for me. And it's things that I worked through before that I thought I had gotten over, but I think I'm just going through it again just to make sure that I'm actually over it. So mostly things that I've rejected about myself. So trying to integrate that, that's been a challenge for me the last couple of months.
What you're saying right now is very, very deep. And I think that we all are experiencing that in different ways. It feels like it's just unique to each of us individually, but we're all experiencing what you just said so articulately. We're all going through that. It's like going back to the spiral metaphor, or let's think about an orbit, whether it's some sort of satellite that is smaller than the moon, or if it's a moon that goes around a particular planet, it has an orbit. And if you see yourself as a planet, the events in your life, the opportunities in your life are like those moons that go around you. And they have elliptical orbits where there are points where they're really close to you as a planet, and then there are times that they're further away. And when it gets close to you, you see that as an opportunity for you to seize or you to take. But if you are not prepared to take that opportunity, one thing about life is that it's going to come back again. That opportunity is going to come back again, but it's going to look different. It's the same energy, though.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a different person, but it's the same energy. It may be a different situation, but it's the same energy. And you have the opportunity to learn that lesson, to seize that lesson, integrate it, and make it part of you. So I think you're right in the way that you describe that, is that, and these things have happened to you before, but now this time it's happening, and now you notice it. And you're like, I see what this is. I know what this is. Okay, I'll go through this test to show and prove and confirm that I got it this time, and I'm ready for that orbit to change, or to redirect my attention to a different moon, a different satellite, So
Mm-hmm.
does that kind of explain it a little bit?
It
Describe
does.
it to some.
It does. Because for about 4 months, I was just really not unusually happy, but just, really upbeat. And then I knew it was going to come to an end, that something would happen to really test just how far I've come. And so I've just been going through it for the last 2 months, but it's not something that's been overwhelming like it has been in the past. So I know it's definitely something that will help me grow even more. So I'm just
Wonderful.
working through it and growing through it.
Good for you. Good for you. To what extent is this something that is is it something to do with work, or is it like very personal? Is it a global type of thing? Is it, a relationship?
It's all of it, all of it pretty much.
All of the above. Wow.
So that's why it feels like there's so much coming at me right now. Um, and I've learned tools to kind of sit myself down and just breathe through it and really figure out what's going on, just comb through everything I'm feeling to make sure it's actually something that I'm dealing with, not something that I picked up from someone else, because I can pick up on people's emotions and feelings pretty easily. So I have to really review it and see, is this really me, or is that from somewhere else? So those are
Yeah,
things
yeah.
I'm
So
going
you sound like an empath. Yeah.
through. Yeah.
You sound like a somewhat of an empath, where you can pick up on people's emotions, and maybe you're getting to the point in your life right now where you have set up enough boundaries where you now can have compassion, and you can see that they're going through something difficult, and instead of you absorbing all of that and having to walk away even when that interaction is over, instead of to walk away and be like burdened down by thoughts or emotions about that particular person and what they're going through. Now you can deal with them right now in the moment. I mean, give them those good vibes, maybe give them advice, or just be an ear that you can hear them, and maybe help them just by listening. And then when you walk away, you can walk away from that and know that you have done what's in your power. You've been a good friend, you've been a good listener, and you don't take that with you and are burdened down with it maybe the way that you used to be, because of these new skills that you've learned, and you're meditating. I can tell you're meditating, and you're definitely someone who's reaching into yourself and understanding that there's much more to life than what we see. There's much more going on. And I can tell that you're doing a lot of evolving right now to the point where I think you're at the point where you can actually help others. I think that you're already helping other people.
I do feel that way. I felt that way for a couple years now, and I just don't know how to help them, but I always do somehow. It just happens organically. Like a good friend of mine who I consider a sister, I think she's still in here, but she made a comment that this live really helped her at this moment. So it's things like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So how did she know about the live?
It probably popped up when I came on.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool. Awesome. So yeah, man, I'm so happy that you and I finally got a chance to chat. I see you all the time. You have great responses and great insights, and just great to talk to you. If you have any other questions, I would love to entertain those. Basically, you didn't tell me specifically what's going on in your life, um,
Yeah, that
but if you wanted
uh,
to, you could. If this is not the opportune time for that, then that's fine also.
I think I'll DM you about that.
Okay, perfect. Because I would love to help in whatever way I can. I don't have all the answers, and no one has all the answers. But what I do know is that you have the answers for your issues, and all I have to do is be open, is be the type of person who can pose questions in a way that allows you to see the answers. That's what I do. And that's how I help people, by just getting them to see the answer inside themselves. So anyway, great chatting with you. Now I'm saying Boyd. How should I say your name?
That's correct. It's just a different
Okay.
spelling of my last name, but it's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boyd.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Well, great chatting with you. You're welcome anytime to come back.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Excellent. So great talking to Boyd. He's an awesome spirit, and he's usually on my talks, and very nice to finally, that's my first time ever talking to him, and he's a great guy. Is there anybody else who has a question or something going on in their life that they'd like just some help or some guidance with, or maybe an extra set of eyes and ears on it? I would love to help out, and I'd love to invite you on. If so, just let me know with a wave or with a question. All right, well, otherwise, I will go ahead and end it here. It's been my pleasure as always. And I will go ahead and save this and upload it. I also upload it to YouTube, and then I upload it to my Anchor.fm podcast, which is just the audio. And it usually takes me about 24 to 40 hours to get to that. But it'll also be there. For those of you who would like to chat with me after this, you can go to my dream_coach account, and you can set up an appointment. You can email me, you can text me. I would love to chat with you. It was my pleasure, Boyd. Always great chatting with you. If you'd like to buy my book, I believe that it's available on this particular account, where you could actually go to the link at Amazon.com and be able to buy the book. It's available in ebook form, soft cover, and hardcover. That is Detox Your Circle. Here's I have one of these. I put my cups on. But you can go there. I think if you go, it's bit.ly, it's LY /detox book. with the D and the B capitalized, and that'll take you directly to the link on Amazon where you can purchase the book if you'd like. Or you can go to the link that is, I believe, in this particular account on the profile. So that is everything that I wanted to chat about today. Really enjoyed myself. I really love when you want to come on and when you have questions and when you want to interact. I love that sort of thing. So don't hesitate to do that. Again, if there's anybody who wants to chat about any of the topics that I covered today, or if there's anything that you're going through in your life and you just want a different perspective or a different way of looking at it, or just some tools that will help you to be able to better address some of the challenges that you are experiencing, I would love to be able to attempt to assist you with that. All you have to do is just jump on or let me know that you're interested in coming on, and I will certainly invite you. So that would be awesome. If there's something are you saying that you want to go live? Because I'll pull you on here. RF84 Martins, do you want to come on and chat? Do you have any questions? Because I will pull you on here. I'd love to. And let's see what happens. Maybe not. Okay. Well, I tried to bring you on. But in the future, if you ever wanted to come on, if you have any questions, I will certainly, no problem, no problem, no problem. But again, everybody, it's been my pleasure. Right before I log off, though, if there are any questions that you may have, maybe you don't want to come on live with me, but if you have a question, feel free to post it. Post a question down there. If you scroll down, there's a place where you can type your question, and I would be happy to respond to that question. That's why I'm here. So any questions at all? Any comments? Any thoughts about things that are going on today in the world, in your community, in your life, in your relationships? We can chat about that. All right. Well, otherwise, I will sign off, saying goodbye until next time. It'll be next Saturday. Not this upcoming Saturday, because this particular live is going to replace what would normally happen on Saturday. Since I was in the mood and the spirit hit me, I decided to come on Thursday instead of Saturday. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you all, and have a great, great afternoon. Bye-bye.